So as far as my personal experience, because I know you are all so interested in that because you came onto this channel where it's just me talking about myself. I really enjoyed my vacation scheme. So I did a vacation scheme with Freshfields in June 2020. It was, as far as I understand, the first one they've ever run virtually, and one of the first firms to do virtual vacation schemes, because a lot of places did cancel their 2020 schemes. So like, thank you for not doing that, Freshfields. So the structure was mostly, I think, between like 4 and 6 hours per day of scheduled talks and presentations, and these were from all sorts of people. So like, there were some on trainees on their experience, there were some from like sort of junior, newly qualified lawyers on the departments they worked in. There were some from, they do a lot in like technology, like legal technology, and so they had some of their tech specialists give a talk about all the sort of technology that they do. They had a managing partner in London come in and give a talk just about her like life story and how she ended up in that position at Freshfields. There were talks on sort of how COVID had impacted law on the life of a trainee there and how your sort of work experience would be. There was a virtual tour of the new building. So it was sort of these presentations and talks interspersed throughout the day with other sessions, whether there were like socials, there were a couple of like sort of games that we played online. There was like a commercial awareness sort of business game that was quite fun. And also you had a group of, I think there were 5 of us, who had a tainee who was also our sort of like supervisor, because we had a presentation to put together to deliver at the end of the week. So we had time sort of timetabled in throughout the day to meet with our group and our trainee supervisor, ask the trainee, of course, any questions that we had about just like Freshfields in general, and then also work on this presentation. And that was actually one of the best parts, because you were able to see other people. So exciting. And you had these sort of 4 other people that you were really able to connect with and talk to a lot, and just like quite become friends with. And I think that was quite nice, because it is a bit of a sort of alienating experience to otherwise just be sitting at your desk on your laptop, and we couldn't even turn our cameras on because the software kept crashing. The good, the bad, and the ugly of this scheme. So the good, it was really impressive, the sort of quality of event that they were able to put together over like, it was a 2.5-week long scheme, and they put it together in the space of like 6 weeks, 10 weeks, I think, which frankly is astounding considering how different it is from the physical version. For me, this sounds super cheesy, but the people were so good. Everyone I met, whether other vac schemers, the graduate recruitment, all the lawyers that we talked to and the trainees, everyone was just so friendly and understanding of the fact that like we were living in a really bizarre world. And that was even, because that was back in June, that was like, it seems like so long ago. It was at a time when things were still sort of really stressful and anxiety inducing. Things still are, but we're sort of used to it now. So everyone was sort of really understanding about that, and understanding about how we were sort of disappointed that it wasn't in person, and we're still sort of getting used to everything being online. But it was, yeah, everyone was very accommodating and friendly and welcoming, and I think that just made a huge difference in having it feel like a really still a very personable experience. As far as the bad, well, we couldn't turn our cameras on because the software kept crashing. On day 1, they said, all right, everyone turn your mics off and your cameras on, and we all did that, and we all saw each other for a beautiful moment, about 10 seconds, and then, yeah. And so, I mean, that's no one's fault, that's just like the nature of having 70 people on a video call, but it was sort of disappointing to not be able to see people. My other sort of big complaint, because I've got so many complaints, is the amount of screen time. I mean, again, this is absolutely nothing can be done about this, but I tend to get headaches when I sit on it staring at a screen for quite a while, and I think it was also brutally hot those 2 weeks in June that we were doing this, and I think I got a headache like 4 out of 5 days by the end of the day, because you know, you're just sitting at your computer sweating, staring at a screen. That wasn't super fun. There were breaks worked in, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been, I suppose, but yeah, it is a lot of screen time. The other sort of huge difference between the virtual scheme and a real life scheme is that the graduate recruitment said themselves that this is something that they tried for a while to fix, but they really couldn't find a way around it, was the recreation of work. Because obviously in a real vacation scheme, you are essentially sort of a mini trainee, and you sit in a department and you can go around to people's offices and go, please sir, give me some work. And you can actually do things like law things, and that was apparently just really difficult to recreate, because a lot of the things that you'd be doing would involve sort of physical papers or like little tasks that someone would just hand off to you, and sort of like quite spontaneous things, and so that was obviously a bit difficult to recreate within the office. And there was also apparently a big issue of security, because obviously you don't want to be emailing client documents to our Gmail accounts. So they basically had to sort of bite the bullet and just not have that much realistic experience as far as work. We did get to do a presentation, which is definitely something that as trainees you would be doing, sort of a pitch presentation, sort of pitching the firm to a client, and so that was nice. That was a good taste of sort of some of the things that you would be doing, but the actual sort of real life work and like sitting in a department and, you know, being a baby lawyer for a week and a half was just not viable in the online format. And lastly, obviously we weren't actually in the office, so I have no corroborating evidence that there is actually an office, so the whole thing might just be a lie, but hopefully not. So we went through the good, we went through the bad. Now what about the ugly? I think the bad camera angles. You know, you turn your camera on the wrong moment, and that's all I have to say about virtual vacation schemes. Thank you for watching and all that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and, you know, yada yada yada. If you have any other questions, just pop them in the comments, or yeah, pop them in the comments and I'll answer them. And if you have any other tips or suggestions or hate mail, any of that, you know, pop in the comments below. And good luck with all of your virtual vacation schemes. See you next time.